this is Marcus from Copyfast. Not too long ago, I registered a new domain name. Not a big deal, you'd think, just a normal administrative task. But the problem I had wasn't in registering the domain name. The problem I had was in the 100 or so emails that I received afterwards. Junk mail, spam, trying to sell me everything from web development services to SEO to web design, name something, anything related to web development. I got emails mainly from India, and I think one word can be used to describe basically all of them. Awful. They were terrible. If you're using any of the techniques that I'm about to show you in your email campaigns to your prospects and customers, you're not losing sales, you're repelling customers away. Let's have a look at these 10 crimes that they've committed sending emails and which ones you might be committing. Now, one of the great things about Facebook advertising is that you can really zone in on your target audience. If you're looking for people aged between 25 to 35 who went to university, studied law, have 3 children and a Labrador, you can find them. And you can use that information to zone in and offer the right people the right message at the right time when you're trying to market them. But not so these intrepid marketers. They've sent me emails trying to sell me everything. Have a look at this example. They're not just trying to sell me SEO, they're trying to sell me e-commerce, web development, graphic design, brochures, catalogs, everything. And when you're trying to market to somebody, the best thing that you can do is focus on that one thing. What am I trying to offer you? The more choices that you give your customers, the more likely they're going to say no. When you've put together a sales letter or a brochure, there's one thing that's going to draw your customer or your prospect in to continue reading, and that's the headline. With emails though, not the headline, it's the subject line, and it's that one thing which is going to prompt your recipient to decide, am I going to open it and read it, or am I just going to hit the delete button, or even worse, hit it as spam? Here's one of the emails that I received from these intrepid marketers, and the subject line that came with it. Very low budget SEO service. Would you open that email? It has spam written all over it, junk mail written all over it. Here's a list of some more subject lines that I received from these intrepid marketers. Look at these. Request for a call, SEO services. Every single one of them screams junk mail. I wouldn't have opened them either, except for the fact that I was curious because I really wanted to see how badly these emails were written. Okay, crime number 3. Let's have a look at this particular email. You can see the opening line. I'd like to utilize this opportunity to introduce myself. Then the next paragraph, we are a company, we've got 100 staff. And then the next paragraph, we've got customers in America and Australia. And then the next, we. The whole email talks about them, who they are, what they do. And this was a very common theme in those 100 or so emails that I received. The very first thing they start talking about is them. What should they be talking about? You. They should be talking about the person who's opening up the email, who they are, what their problem is, and then talk about the company and how they can solve it. Have a look at these sentences. People search for products online and buy the same. Avail the benefits of our discounted packages. It seems you have booked a domain service recently and are looking for an IT service. Do you talk like this? Neither do I. Neither do your customers. If you want to relate to your customers and get them to have some resonate with the message that you're trying to send, you need to talk like them and you need to use their language. There's some very simple techniques to be able to do this. Have a look on one of my previous blogs. Here's what it's called, and you can go and find an exact technique that you can use to find out exactly what your customers are thinking and the words that they use and how they use to express themselves. That's the language that you want to use in your emails and your sales letters. Now take a look at this email. The email itself wasn't too bad, but right at the end, they come out with a comment saying it is our marketing strategy to use a Gmail account when we send out our emails. And once I reply to them, sending them back my contact details, only then will they send me an email from their regular corporate account. What's wrong? Don't they trust me? Trust is the number one thing that you have to earn from the people that you send emails to. A very common marketing maxim is people will buy from those that they know, like and trust. The trust is probably one of the most important factors because they can know you and they can like you, but if they don't trust you, people aren't going to buy from you. Now this is probably one of my favorites. In the same email that we just had a look at, the very last paragraph said, "We're not spammers, and we don't believe in spamming, but if you don't like these emails, just send us a reply with a no and we won't spam you anymore." Yes, they are spammers. I registered a domain name and I had received about 100 emails from people I never wanted to receive an email for, trying to sell me things that I didn't want. I never signed up for anything and I never gave my consent. That's spamming. One of the online marketers I really enjoy reading about and listening to is Ramit Sethi. And one of the courses that he has, he talks about selling, and that when you come to sell, you need to sell confidently, and you shouldn't be ashamed or embarrassed about what you're trying to sell. If you really believe that what you have will benefit people, then you should try to sell to them strongly, and you should try to sell to them confidently. But the opening line of this particular email is almost begging me, "Can you please send us some CEO services?" Never try to promote something from a position of begging. Doesn't become you. Now, for those who don't know, my background is actually software development. I'm a nerd, okay? I confess. So I like a computer acronym as best as the next guy. But the mistake you should never make is that the readers that you're sending your emails to like them as well. Have a bit of a peruse of this email. They start talking about Joomla, XHTML, JavaScript, and plenty of other technical terms that probably most of their audience may have seen before, but probably won't even know what they are. When you're sending your emails out, the crime that you don't want to commit is to have your emails full of jargon. If you write your emails in such a way that a 5-year-old could understand what you're talking about, you're on the right track to a clear communication with your customers. Now, this email probably annoyed me the most. This email was sent to me from Praveen, somewhere in India. He said he had examined my website and that there were problems with it, that I had broken links, that people were stealing my content, that there were links going out to other websites. Let's just put things in context here. All I just did was register a domain name. There's no website, there's nothing to check. Praveen is lying. The first thing that you can do, and we talked about this a moment ago, to violate the trust of your readers is to lie to them. There's a great quote from David Ogilvy. He said, "Your customer isn't a moron, she's your wife." People nowadays have access to more information than they ever had, and it's very easy to be able to verify the claims that you make. There's nothing wrong with embellishing your marketing message, but you need to make sure that whatever you tell your customers is true, it's factual, and it's honest, because they can look it up and they can check out for themselves. And as soon as they feel that they've been lied to, you've lost them forever. So there we are, 10 email crimes that you should never commit. And if you look up the screen now, I've rephrased them a little bit. So rather than being about topics that you shouldn't do, they're things that you should do. Don't spam, keep it jargon free. There's a complete list in the blog post. Have a read through. You'll find that there's many rules there that if you just scan through those before you hit the send button for your next email blast, and make sure that you haven't violated any of these crimes, you'll get more of your emails opened and a better response from your prospects. Till next time, right on.